one of my other favorite ones is people mistake me for a fish often. And me playing it up saying like, oh my god, no, I'm not a fish, how could you think this, I'm obviously a dragon. And just having like these little bits where people can come in and like do that kind of interaction.
So for everybody in the chat who does not know, we are going to be first dipping into the ice-breaking questions, and then once we go with the ice-breaking questions, we'll start talking about the shape-shifting questions, which is what I like to call it personally, and then we start to get into the streaming specific questions and then the gaming questions. So Lizard, because I asked everybody this question right from the get-go, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Practical or not practical, or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. The ability to re-experience things for the first time.
Okay.
Not practical as a superpower, except just to me.
Okay. So basically you could like time travel, but then like lose all of your, like basically lose your memory in a sense, and then you could just like experience it again, I guess.
I wouldn't describe it as losing my memory, but more so as just, that feeling like when you watch like a really good movie or you finish a really good game.
Okay. Yeah.
Just being able to like re-experience that. Still full memory, you go through, you play it again, you have that same experience. It's that same level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like
I don't know if you want to call that a superpower
like
or something else, but
something, I guess. I guess so. Yeah. Well, I've always said that I like to I would like the idea of having electrical powers, which I'll say it again. It'd be kind of nice to like punch somebody, not like real life, obviously. I don't want to do that, but like I would be a little crazy and violent for that. I don't want to be that guy. You know who's going to be on top of me. It's going to be the authority figures.
Very, very infamous vibes.
Yeah, but if I could use those powers for good, though, something shocking. Yes, exactly, GX. Something shocking. If I could use those superpowers for good and like defeat, who knows, Godzilla or something, or some kind of creature, then yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Now, what do you think your useless superpower would be?
Oh man. I really wasn't prepared for that one.
Almost nobody is.
Man, you gotta make it tough, right? You gotta make me think. You gotta make us all think. Okay. When it's like fallout and it's like kind of there's leaves on the ground and there's like a little bit of a tornado that you can see with the leaves.
Okay.
I'd be able to do that, but that's about it.
And it doesn't blow anybody away or anything like that.
Doesn't blow anyone away.
Yeah.
Just enough to make a gentle breeze.
Just make a gentle breeze. Yeah. It's like an air current, but it goes in a circular motion.
Yeah, exactly.
I have it. You know what's funny? I have a useless superpower already. It's called sitting still in the front of the webcam, and it's I'm sometimes I sit so still, literally, like people will think that my webcam crashed, and they'll say, "Hey, dude, your webcam crashed," and I'll look over and I'll be like, "My webcam crashed," and go, "Oh, dang! Wait a second."
Oh my god! Tell me what it's like, because I don't stop moving.
It is interesting because like you don't think about it, and then you watch yourself in a VOD, and then one time I actually did get myself, because I thought that I had I thought that my webcam actually did freeze, and I looked at that and I was going, "Oh, my webcam's frozen. What happened there? What?"
You played yourself.
I played myself. It was crazy. Yeah, so now I'm trying to move around a little bit more, and I think it's working. So yeah, that's my useless superpower. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. Like some people they can't sit still, and other people just can't. I don't know. They don't move or something. Like maybe they're just super tired or whatever. Um.
I mean, you you seen my streams. Like I talk with my hands a lot,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So my hands are flying. They're going all over the place. I'm losing my tracking. My model's flying all over the screen.
Here. Yeah, dude. Right, dude. By the way, what is okay, so what is your favorite childhood memory?
Mm, okay, so growing up, we had this big tree. It's no longer there. It was cut down. It died.
Okay.
Um, huge. It was like I don't know. It's got to have been like 12 feet, right? This is no, not 12 feet. That's a small tree. Big. I don't know. It was bigger than my house. Uh, two-story house, right?
Okay.
Bigger than that.
Okay.
Um, I was able to climb all the way to the top of it,
Oh.
all the way up. Was it terrifying? Yeah, but was it really cool? Also, yeah.
Also, yeah. Dude, I had a neighborhood friend back in the day. He's in Florida now, but man, he knew how to climb trees. I didn't know how to climb trees. I would climb a tree. I would try to climb a tree, but I would always slip and like not even I wouldn't even like make it a
Oh
foot
my god!
above the
Like you
air.
would fall out of the tree.
Yeah,
That's
well,
terrifying.
I didn't fall out of a tree, but man, every single time I would even just put my foot on the tree and I would try to like grab it and then climb up it. I couldn't get a grip on it. I could never get a grip on a tree. Like it was one of those things where I just didn't know how to I guess I didn't know how to like grip the tree. What you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was like, okay, I can't really do that. I don't really have that skill, but I there's been like a few times where my old neighborhood friends would like climb the top of a tree or they would even just like get like right in between the branches. But yeah, so yeah, I can never do that. One time I tried to climb, you know what's funny? I tried to climb a fence one time because there was a spider
Fences are
web.
hard.
Yeah,
Trees are
fences
easier.
Fences are yeah they're no I couldn't do it though. I kept trying to like jump over the fence because one time there was a spider on a spider web and I wasn't even scared of the spider itself. I used to have this like phobia towards like bacteria. And so I'm like, oh, the spider's got like, it's kind of, sickness and stuff like that. Or maybe it's a poisonous spider or whatever. I was that kid, right? So I couldn't climb over the fence. And so, my parents were like, dude, just shoo the spider web down, like, take it down with your hands. I'm like, oh, it's
Ooh,
gross.
ew, no.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was just, yeah, that was pretty silly. That was pretty silly. Um, okay, so for these shape shifting questions, I mean, you're basically already an anthropomorphic animal, like, but if you had an alternative cartoon animal, it doesn't matter if it's fancy or what it is, let's say you could no longer be a dragon, then what anthropomorphic animal would you be?
Mm. Hmm. You know, I don't think I ever thought about it, so I'm gonna think about it right now in this moment. um, okay, maybe like I don't want to use my favorite animal. That My favorite animal is an otter. If you were if you were curious on that, but I don't think that fits me anymore. Maybe it
Okay.
did when I was younger.
Yeah.
But maybe more now, like I don't know why the first thing that is like jumping into my mind is a jackalope.
Okay.
Like, rabbit antlers.
Okay. Okay. So kind of like a okay. I gotcha. Would you? It kind of reminds me. I kind of picture like a rabbit with horns for some reason, but I'm also picturing like Lucario. Yeah,
Not quite Lucario.
not quite Lucario. Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, so it's a jackalope. Okay, okay. I think I would. I don't know. Well, I do know. I'm saying I don't know, but actually no. You know what? I would be a mouse, and if I couldn't be a mouse, I would be a cat. That's
Two
probably what it would
very
be.
opposites.
Very opposites.
It's
One time
very
it's
one in the end of the spectrum and the other.
it's funny because I said that to one streamer. He goes, "Oh, okay. So if it couldn't be a mouse, then you would be the thing that eats you." And I said, "Yeah, I think so." It was just really silly. How was our day GX? It was pretty good. GX, what would you be? What kind of anthropomorphic would you be? But yeah, and then if you could transform into any electronic, what would you want to transform into?
Feel like I would want to be something useful, right? Um. Oh, okay. How about old school iPod?
Hmm. Yeah, an old school iPod would be pretty cool.
That was probably the quickest answer that I gave you back.
Yeah, I mean, then no, that's still a classic though. That's
Hmm.
pretty classic. I know. A few. Well, like it had its audience. Like a while ago, and if iPods ever come back, if people actually like start like digging iPods once again, then yeah, that would be a really good choice. In fact, I know there's like some. I was coming across like some videos where uh, some of the younger audience these days would like explore with old technology and stuff. I don't remember if an iPod was one of them, but there's a video where this generation was playing around with some of the old operating systems like Windows 93 and Windows XP
Hmm.
in those operating
When you
systems,
say this generation,
like this younger
who are we
generation,
referring?
like
Like Alpha?
yeah, like people in their like who are 15, like around 15 years old.
Okay, yeah, somewhere
Yeah,
like maybe the late Gen Z, early Alphas,
yeah,
somewhere around there.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
somewhere around there. I thought it
Yep.
was kind of cool.
Um, yeah. Although sometimes it hurts a little bit when I say, you know, uh, I don't know. I don't talk to younger generations. I don't work with them. I don't interact with them in my daily life, so I don't really know. But
Yeah.
like, if I were to say like, oh, you know, roll down the window or CD player, they'd be like,
Mm.
it's a CD player.
Yeah, what's a CD
What do you
player?
what do
Yeah.
you
Oh,
mean?
doesn't
The
that
little
makes that's got to make you feel old. Like you got to be wondering,
I'm not even
wow.
that I'm not even that old.
No.
But like the little save icon up at the top of like everything, It's the little floppy disk.
Yeah. They don't know where that came from,
They
I
don't know.
bet.
They don't know.
They have no idea.
Ask them to burn a CD. Watch the brains fry, because they're not
Yeah,
going to know what you're talking about.
right. Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, I was really, really young back then, and um,
Oh
it's
my
it's
god.
kind of hard for me to remember. I do remember putting those CDs in, so
Okay.
I
Okay.
remember that. I remember how to change battery, dude. I'm not even joking. I was at a social group one time, and somebody was trying to change the batteries. He goes, "How do I change out the batteries?" And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh." Oh my gosh, did I just hear somebody say, "How do I change the batteries?" Oof, oof.
Do you
That.
remember? Here's a good test. Do you remember the phrase "be kind, rewind"?
I think I do. I
Oh
think
no.
maybe I do. I don't know.
Am
Now
I
I'm starting
dating
to question if I
myself?
do.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
But I do remember the VHS tapes. I remember
Yes.
having.
Okay. Yes, that's what it's from.
Okay.
When you would rent VHS tapes, you would have to put it. You have to rewind it so that the
Yeah.
person that got it next didn't start at the end.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that took like
Windows
5
XP.
minutes for like a movie or something. That was
Mm-hmm.
oh man, those were the days of the past. And yeah, we got it pretty good now, so shoot.
Yeah. So now that I've thoroughly exposed myself on my age, let's let's move
Well,
forward.
you will like it here because we are a group of adults here, so you'll definitely like it here. But yeah, dude. So now for the streaming specific questions. How long have you been streaming for?
Um, 2 years and some change.
2 years?
I think so. It's kind of hard because it just kind of like blends in. Um, the only indication I really get on when my start dates are or around then are my affiliate anniversary and the date that I started my Twitter.
Okay.
Because
Nice. Nice.
when I started streaming, I also started a Twitter for it.
Okay. That's cool. When did you start Twitter?
Oh my goodness, you would ask that. Hold on, let me go into my Twitter. Beginning of December.
Okay.
Except it wouldn't let me put the year that it was because it was like, hey, you have to be more than a year old.
What the frick? Wait, what?
Because I wanted to set my birthday on Twitter as the day that I started it so that I
Oh.
would remember like, oh, this is when I started.
Oh,
This is
okay.
I was born as a little VTuber. But they were like, yeah, actually you can't do that. You have to be more than a year old.
Yeah, that's interesting. Um, okay. What made you want to stream and like what's keeping you motivated?
Um okay. Okay, so there's two questions there. So what made me start streaming was I started getting more involved in Twitch. Um
Okay.
and like I had not really been on Twitch too much before I started streaming. I knew it was a thing, right? Twitch is like popular, people know about it. I wouldn't say it's a household name, but if you have a computer, you play video games, you probably know what Twitch is. So I started watching a little bit here and there to just to like see what it was about because it started to blow up a lot more. And I was like, this looks really cool. This looks really fun. Like I could probably do something like this. And then I did.
Yeah, and then he did. Nice. Um,
And what a good
yeah.
decision it was. What was the second half of that question?
What's keeping you motivated?
What keeps me motivated?
Yeah.
Um, hmm. Well, I think it is really the people that I have met through streaming.
Okay.
Um, people who come in, chat, hang out, um, but also like the other streamers, right? I get to watch their stuff. They interact with me. They'll come over to my streams. They'll interact with me,
Mhm.
and sometimes even off stream too. Sometimes people will just like message me, other streamers, and just like check in, have a little conversation. How you doing? And I really like that. I really like that sense of like community belonging.
Yeah. That's really awesome. That is the thing about Twitch that I really like is when people come in and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And then we get to have a conversation, just like pretty much what you said. It's really
Hmm.
cool being able to get to know people.
Yeah, I think that's what really. I don't know what other questions you might have later in, but I think it's like that's the thing that maybe not as much kept me motivated, but the thing that really drew me in, right, was that uh like that sense of like community
Mhm.
and being able to connect with people on a much different level than I would be able to in my personal life. And I have friends who play video games, IRL friends. We'll hop on. Usually it's just like the phone, and we'll hang out. We'll play video games. Sometimes we'll play games together. Sometimes we'll just like hang out. Um, but I think it's a little bit different online because um,
Yeah.
I think I share more interest with people, right? And like the type of games that we play, as well as like other hobbies, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people in my personal life, um, aside from the people that do play video games, we don't really share a whole lot of hobbies, which is fine, right? You don't have
Yeah.
to share hobbies to be friends with people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you don't have to like the same exact like all the same things. Like
Yeah.
that just makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. And you can still talk to them while you're gaming or whatever, and it's like it it can lead to some really interesting like conversations and stuff. So yeah, that's
Hmm.
the nice thing about it. Um yeah, I agree with that. And I know sometimes like when you like switch hobbies and some of those people they'll like join you and
Hmm.
or whatever. They'll sometimes join you, and then sometimes you'll get the people, or I shouldn't even say sometimes. Like it's like I don't want to say half of the personal that your friends, but like I know pretty a certain portion of them. Like if you decide to go, like, oh, I'm no longer gonna play Smash Bros. I'm gonna play like Street Fighter or Fatal Fury or something like that. Some people might want to try that with you. If you're like really good friends with them, then like everybody else is like, okay, have
Sure.
have
Yeah.
fun with it. Have fun and hope you enjoy Street Fighter. Um,
Yeah. I like to think that you have different friends that fulfill different uh maybe needs isn't the right word, but
yeah.
they fulfill different um portions of like your interests and hobbies in your life.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, some people play Street Fighter as well. Yeah. Um, and take a break afterwards. And yeah, yeah, dude. Um, let's see if anybody else wants to join the arena first. But yeah, I mean, it'll happen. Not everybody's gonna. want to try new things, and that's totally fine too. So,
Yeah, like
um,
I have in the past I haven't done this in a while. Thought about getting back into it. The startup cost is pretty high. But I used to snowboard, right?
oh, okay.
Yeah. I used to snowboard. I stopped for a while, because life happened, and then my equipment got old, and then where I'm living now, the snow that we were getting was pretty minimal, which is weird, and they would have to make a whole lot of um,
Hmm.
man-made snow, which is not my favorite to ride on.
No.
Uh, but so like for example, I have friends who will snowboard with me or ski with me, right? But then I have other friends that have no interest in that,
Yeah.
right? So I have different friends that fulfill different portions of my life.
Right. Yeah. No, snowboarding sounds good. Um, I've talked to people about snowboarding and skiing, really, but that's almost the same thing, right? Um,
Mhm.
but it sounds like a really
don't
fun.
don't tell that to a skier or a
Uh,
snowboarder. They would-
maybe, yeah, okay. There's probably differences, but of course, I've never gone snowboarding or skiing, or skiing or anything like that. But yeah, yeah, I think anybody would want to start off small in that hobby because if you're going down, I can imagine somebody going skiing for the first time or snowboarding, whatever, and just like going super fast. Like imagine like there'd probably be like trees in the way that she would hit or something. That probably wouldn't feel good at all.
You're-
Yeah.
well, hopefully, if you're going that fast and there are trees around, you're a little more skilled. You are off the bunny hill at that point, and you are more intentionally going
Yeah.
into those speeds and terrains.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
But
Yeah.
listen, we all gotta start somewhere, right? I started
We
on the bunny hill too,
yeah.
but now I can go down. I can go fast. I can weave through the trees if
Yeah.
I so choose to go into an area with trees.
You wonder if a GoPro could actually like stream the whole thing of like you snowboarding the whole way down the hill. I wonder if I think that's possible. I
Oh,
would think.
absolutely. There were
Yeah.
plenty of people with GoPros, especially when they were newer.
I bet you. Well, I don't know. I've never used a GoPro. I almost want to say it connects to Bluetooth on your phone or something
I
like
don't
that.
I don't know how they work.
Yeah.
I've never used one.
Yeah. I've used one, but it was not a real GoPro. It was just it was a very childish GoPro cam, super cheap. The resolution was just absolutely horrible, and you could barely hear anything. And I remember I would adjust it on my head when I was a kid, right? And I would intend to point the camera straight and try to make it look like, hey, um, this is eye level, but it always turned out like the camera would be pointing ever so slightly up for my head, and so you couldn't really see much. And that was just kind of one of the bad things about the GoPro Pro camera that I did have. So every time I would put that SD card in the laptop, I was like, oh dang, you can't really see anything. And one day we decided to have fun. It had its own editing software, and it was absolute crap.
Really?
And
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, and so there's really basic effects that it would use. And these effects one of them I remember was a bird that you would put on the video just flying in the air. And so I remember I remember trying to film my old neighborhood friend. He used to do skateboarding, and I would film him, and I just placed a random bird like flying towards him, and I think I like put text on there. I don't know. I don't even remember what it said. It probably said something like, "Oh, it got knocked out" or something stupid like that. Um, anyway, yeah. Well, that was the joys of
Early
being a
YouTube
kid.
editing.
Early YouTube editing, man. Even Neurovision 4 was better than that. That was a very basic editing program. If some people probably don't know what Eurovision is, it was a program back in the day where literally you could add a very limited amount of effects and like text effects and stuff like that, but you couldn't do much on it. And then like you couldn't like split up your clips. It would always snap towards each other. Like there was no way to like create a gap in them in case you like need to insert something else.
Interesting.
Yeah. We've really improved on technology. Oh man.
I usually think, I know this is a little more off topic, but we're talking about like advances in technology, and I usually just think about like specifically advances in like medical tech.
Oh yeah.
I don't work in medical or anything. These are just like the things that I think of when I think of like advancing technology, right? Because there's so much now.
Yeah. Yeah. Medical is a really good example. Um so what I kind of want to like talk about your aesthetics for a moment. Like you got some good aesthetics, dude. So it was simple, but yet you got such a nice character design. I like it a
Thank
lot.
you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. What inspired your aesthetics?
Um, well, I I made this character specifically for VTubing, right?
Yeah.
So that was a really heavy influence for the character, just to design something that was in the realm of like VTubing. And everyone who I had watched had some sort of like lore or background. They had like, oh, I'm this kind of VTuber, I'm this kind of VTuber, I'm that kind of VTuber, this is my backstory. So I was like, okay, well, I've decided that I'm gonna be a dragon, right? Of course. But like, what's my angle, right? Um, what's my backstory? What's my lore? So I had initially started out as like, oh, steampunk is pretty cool. Like I'll be a dragon who works on an airship. I'm like the mechanic, and
Okay.
as I developed it a little bit more, refined it a little bit more, as I was figuring myself out in VTubing and what I wanted that to look like and who I wanted to be for it. I moved away from the mechanic and engineer and steampunk towards more like adventurer.
Okay.
Uh, but you can see my goggles. I still have my goggles.
Yeah.
Was part of my more original design of mechanic
Okay.
airship.
Okay. Probably, I imagine it's useful for when you're flying too. You can't get all that wind in your eyes, man. But yeah, um, yeah, dude. So have you? So you've pretty much evolved uh that VTuber. So it was pretty mechanical back then. Like, was it your avatar right now? It's a 2D avatar, right? Am
It
I
is a
right?
2D avatar.
It is a
So
2D.
like,
Okay.
so you can see I can't really like turn too much. This is kind of the extent of where I can go.
Yeah. I can still tell there's been a lot of effort put into it because like the clothing is very realistic how it moves.
It is when I sway, you can see like my jewelry moving. You can see my little the ties on my arm moving. You can see my collar moving.
Yeah. And you got your nice tail behind you. Yeah. So yeah, it looks really nice. It looks
Thank
yeah,
you,
I
thank you.
love
The
it.
person that made my model did such a fantastic job.
He really did. Who's the artist?
Her name is Chai Ciro. So that's CHY. Wait, hold on. I can't spell it in my head. CHYCERO. Chicero. If you're looking for her on Twitter, it's her name Chicero _.
Ooh, you got to post that link in the chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool.
she does some amazing work, and she's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That's awesome. And I gotta check her out.
Hmm.
Whenever you post it on there. Yeah. So how was what was your community like back then? And like what were your also, since we're on the topic of aesthetics, like what was your aesthetics like back then compared to how everything is with your overall stream now?
Mm, when you say aesthetic, can you just uh, give me some more idea of what you're looking for? Are you looking for, my character design? Are you
Yeah.
looking for more like how I was interacting? Are you looking for more
Well, in
what
your
the
case,
setup?
like more so character design. Yeah, that's what I'm really looking for.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then can you give me the question one more time?
So basically, like, how was? Let me phrase it like this: how was your overall? What was your overall streams? Um, like back 2 years ago when you first started, and then like in your streams today, like how do those two compare? Does that make any sense?
Uh,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna try to answer this the best that I can. So I would say back more towards the beginning, I was not using this model, of course. Um, I was using a PNG tuber that I had made myself, um, because I didn't really understand like how people got PNG tubers. Like
Okay.
I could not grasp like finding an artist to make them because no one really advertised that's something that they do. So it was like, well, I'm just gonna make my own. So I just made my own. Now I have much love for that model. Um, but he was a little more basic than this current one.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. What about like the quality of the interactions in your streams? Like how is that compared to today?
Well, I have I have many more redeems. Once I was able to get uh, a live 2D model, I was really able to put in much more interactive
Yeah.
redeems and things for people to interact with me. Before it was more so kind of just chatting, kind of just like more basic type of redeems, like your hydrates, your head pats. Um, and of course, I still have both of those. They are a little more interactive. You've seen me get head pads. I love them. They're one of my favorite things. But I can really uh, show that I'm really enjoying them a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of the interactions were more they were less redeem oriented and more conversational.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because I've noticed that as a lot of Twitch streamers since like last year. I want to say like mid last year, somewhere along the lines. Like there's definitely been, it's always been a thing, but like it seems like it's becoming more obvious that the redeems are really what's engaging the audience. Um,
Hmm.
and I'll admit, like
Well, and I
yeah,
think also it helps, um like having certain bits that you do, right?
y-
So and one of my favorite ones is, um well, I do love the head pads, right? I have that, I go back and forth and showing that I'm really enjoying them, um telling people that they're like my favorite thing. But one of my other favorite ones is people mistake me for a fish often. And me playing it up saying like, oh my god, no, I'm not a fish, how could you think this, I'm obviously a dragon. And just having like these little bits where people can come in and like do that kind of interaction.
yeah. I thought that was pretty funny though. That was what was it, like a few weeks ago? I was in your streams, and then this one guy kept calling you a fish. And you're like, "What? fish, and that was my first time hearing that. So I'm thinking,
Oh my god. Do you know where that started? Do you know where that started? So
no.
had I had this model's debut upcoming. And I'm in a couple different communities, and I was in one, and the streamer was like, "Oh, Juice has a new model. Can I show it on stream? It looks really cool, you guys." And he pulls it up, and one of his chatters says, "That's a Magikarp. That's a whole fish."
That's a magic art.
And I'm like, "No, it's a dragon." And that was just the first person to do that, and I have had several other people unrelated, sometimes on Twitch, oftentimes not on Twitch. They're like, "Oh, I really like your fish model," or "Oh, I thought that was a Dragonite," which is probably the least offensive that I have been called. But many, many times, unrelated people have mistaken me for anything but a dragon.
That's so weird. Because when I first got on, when I first saw your streams, like they were, I didn't think, I thought it was just a dragon. I was like, oh hey, it's a dragon with like sort of like a kind of like the with fins, right? And I don't know, maybe I just have a good sense of design. So a character design.
Listen, most people get it. There are a handful, and I would say probably a pretty healthy handful because of the amount of times I have been mistaken for anything other than a dragon. That just they don't see it right away. So that makes it all the more funny.
They need graphic design school. No, I get it, man. But no, actually, okay. Well, let me be honest. I think I can kind of see that, but at the same time, the horns are what really make it look more like a dragon. So when I see the horns, I don't look at the fins and go, "Ah, it's a fish." That to me looks like a dragon, personally.
Yeah, I think people see the color and they see the fins and maybe the whiskers, and they're like, "That's a fish."
Yeah. No. Also, let me just back up a little bit. I said people need graphic design school. I meant character design school. Some people are probably listening to this VOD and are being like, Devin, character design and graphic design are different subjects. I know. Okay. I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't see fish completely with the horns, but yeah. So what's the most desirable thing that you want to happen as a streamer? Like, do you want to keep growing your channel points, or do you want to keep like maybe growing your audience? Like, what's your goal?
My goal? I mean, I feel like most people would want to say like, "Oh yeah, I want to make it. I want to make it big." And go full time, make money from it, that kind of thing. But I really don't. Um, I don't care to make it big because I started this more as a hobby, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I have a job. I make money. I don't need pipe dreams to be achieved, right?
Yeah.
This is something that I just genuinely enjoy, and I really enjoy interacting with people. I think I do have maybe not a fear, but maybe more of a worry of if I do get bigger and my chat starts to like be really popping more frequently and it's harder for me to catch up. Because there have been certain times where I've had quite a few people in. They're all chatting at the same time. I'm trying to keep up with all the chats, and I do miss things,
Yeah.
right? And one of the things that I don't want people to feel is feeling like they're left out, right? Because I just talked about how much I really enjoyed streaming and Twitch for like the community interaction, feeling like belonging, being part of something. And if someone is constantly being ignored because I am missing things, missing chat messages, then I feel like that really defeats that purpose.
Yeah. For real. Yeah, that's the thing about just sorry. Little difficulty on my side there. But
Okay.
yeah, dude. Yeah. I could yeah, cuz like you don't want people to go, "Oh man, well, he's not responding to my chats." I've had so many moments where I would
Yeah.
talk to a streamer and I would go I would keep sending messages. I'm thinking, okay, are you gonna like notice my messages? Like, are you just deliberately ignoring me because you don't want to talk to me? Like what is going on? Just so I don't think that's
Yeah,
always the
but
case, but yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think I would my goal, what I would like to happen is, I would like to be a space for people where they can feel that same thing that I am getting out of streaming and doing Twitch, is like that sense of community.
yeah,
Whether I have 10 10 followers or 5,000.
yeah, yeah. Um, that's a good point. But yeah, now I'm gonna move on to the slightly darker side of the streamer questions. Now, usually when I
Darker
when I
side.
go to
Oh my god.
the darker subjects, I will say that I usually just kind of I'll just like hit them with like a hard question. But let me ask you this question. So, um, what's the most challenging thing about being a Twitch streamer? Like is it trying to
Mhm.
catch up with the chats when it's busy, like you said, or do you think that maybe something else is challenging?
The single most challenging thing that I have encountered being a streamer and streaming is probably not what most people would think of, right? Most people would probably think of like you said, like keeping up with the chat, or you know, maybe dealing with like scuff and like technical errors. But for me, it's really being able to keep the space comfortable and safe for everyone.
Mm-hmm. I can be a challenge sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
If someone's coming in and they're making people feel uncomfortable, I don't want people to feel like that here.
No.
And I have a mod, um, but I don't really think it is their job to corral people. Like, it might be more of their job to like, uh, if I need like a link posted, or just to, I don't know,
Yeah.
refund points. But I really feel, as the streamer, it is more of my responsibility, because it is my channel and I want to curate a space that I would want to be in. If someone is being unruly or making people uncomfortable, to
Yeah.
be able to cull whatever action they're doing, whatever behavior that they're doing to make people uncomfortable, whether it's heckling people, whether it's being a bother, whether it's spamming chat, uh, just generally being over the top, whatever it might be. It's hard,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't want to be the bad guy.
No,
You
you really don't.
And especially when you're smaller too. Um, and I'm talking like much smaller. I'm talking like, 15 50, 60, 70 followers, you don't have a whole lot of people. You're trying to retain as many people as you can, right? And you're in that mindset of like, well, I can't upset people. Um,
It's
but
true.
it's almost like a um it has like the opposite effect if you don't do anything, right? Because then you might keep that one person, but you may have lost three. And when you have to be the bad guy, it kind of kills the vibe for a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's extra hard because you're streaming, you're interacting with chat, you're having a good time, and then something happens where now suddenly you're not having a good time. You're
Yeah.
in fact having a bad time. And you have to either ignore what just happened, which isn't super great, right? Um, you have to set it aside for maybe after stream, or you need to re-regulate yourself like in that moment. And there have been times where like something has happened in my streams where I've had to sometimes just take a moment to re-regulate myself before I like come back, because it changes your tone, it changes your mood, it changes your interactions, and it sucks. It does. I'm not gonna lie about that, right? But you need to keep the space safe for everybody. And if that means being the bad guy to one person and enforcing rules, then you need to do it,
Yep.
right? Because
Yeah.
that space
Because
isn't going to be safe for everyone if you aren't strict on your rules.
right. Yeah. Because and if you just let that person keep going and going, I've had the experience of just
Hmm.
man. I mean, I've had the experience of over and over again, just people going, man, they don't say anything, but you can tell like they stop coming back, and then you can tell they started thinking this guy doesn't moderate his channels. I've been the guy once before, maybe twice before, of going, yeah, this guy, this person right there, like he has like really good interactive channel rewards, and I mean shoot, this guy was like very memey for a live streamer. I mean, he had some really good tricks up his sleeve. I don't even know how he did it, but then it came to moderation. Dude, this guy would tell this one dude in his chat to please stop. What was it? It was like it was like stop talking about NSFW or something like that. I think that's how it went, or something. I don't remember. But and he keeps saying, dude, you got to stop doing that, man. You got to stop doing that. Okay. And then he would start like making all these like effects like pop off the screen or something like that. But he wouldn't actually kick the guy out of the chat. And then
Uh-huh.
I'm not making this up. He started joining the person who was actually causing an unsafe environment. And I'm like, what the heck? This is not how you moderate.
Yeah, yeah. And there's that part that I don't want to be the bad guy,
Yeah.
right? I want to be seen as the person who's the good guy.
Yeah.
And then you also have that like other internal part of you that says, okay, I if I respond like this to this person, is this how people are going to see me? Right?
Yeah.
If I have to be the bad guy, if I have to be mean to someone, well, not mean, but sometimes it's how it feels. If I
Yeah.
have to be mean to someone, are my other followers going to think that of me? Are they going to think that I'm a mean person?
Yeah. And you
But
just gotta
those are like those internal thoughts that come around when you have to be the bad guy, and you really miss the point of enforcing rules is not fun, uh, but it creates not just a space for people to feel safe, but people, I think, more respect that you are able to be that person that keeps the space that they like, they enjoy, they feel safe in.
Yeah. And then there's also been those times where people try to be more subtle about it and they try to get away with it, right? And then you could just kind of like I've had moments where I've had to rewatch my VOD and watch that person interact with the chat, and then after that I was like, yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna ban that person, because like I had to see it from like a third person perspective because it wasn't outright sometimes. Now sometimes I can,
it is hard in the moment.
yeah, sometimes, and then other times I can catch on pretty quickly. So yeah, it's very situational there.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's a little more difficult for people to understand, like for my channel, like I know your channel is very safe for work.
Yeah.
There are channels that are very very not safe for work, and I land somewhere in that middle gray area. So sometimes, you know, I'm an 18 plus channel, so sometimes, you know, I'll make adult jokes, like
Yeah.
I have adult humor, I'm an adult. It's gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes people will just push a little bit too far for what I'm comfortable with, but it's really hard to tell people, like, this is the line. But I can only tell people what the line is once they're at the line, or if they have crossed it. So
Right.
sometimes it does get a little bit blurred, for what I want in my channel.
Yeah, and I do advertise in my profile that we are an SFW adult server. I mean, we are an adult server, and I have to tell people this sometimes, but you know, I said, you know, I'll say stuff like, "Hey, I know we're an SFW server. If you want to talk about NSFW, you know, it can be reasonable. I don't mind." So I'm kind of like on board with you on that. Like, if they start talking about it in an unreasonable fashion, then I'm like, no, dude. I mean, I've had to delete comments like that off of Twitch, and I'll be like, dude, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, there's times where I've had to be like, all right, okay, let's let's calm down, let's settle down a little bit with that.
Yeah,
We're starting to push into that that portion that I'm a little uncomfortable.
yeah. And there'd be like people, of course, you know, Yoshi's definitely a big character on my channel too. Well, too, is a big character on my channel, and there'd be people, some furries who would come in, and some of them would take it far, and I'm like, wait a second, hey, whoa, I don't mind this topic to a certain degree. Okay, let's slow down on this a little bit. Let me delete your comment, and now we're gonna have to define the boundaries here. Now, some people will get, you know, kicked. Some people might get banned. You know, it's going to be situational, but yeah, it's a matter of controlling like how it's talked about. I hate to use the word controlling. Like that, controlling just doesn't sound good. But you, like you said earlier, you got to be the police of your
Controlling, managing.
Yeah, managing. Yeah. You just got to manage it. That's
yeah.
what. Yeah.
And I think you understand where I'm coming from, because you are an adult channel, safe for work. You know, you can talk about like some more adult content, but like to an extent.
Right.
And same for me too, right? I would say mine's probably, you know, more towards the like not safe. Like you could get away with watching it in public, but not. I wouldn't really watch me at work,
No.
Without headphones, just because of some of the things that goes on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really gray for a lot of people of like, okay, where are the boundaries? And you know, I don't think it's up to me to set those, of like here are the parameters, you need to stay within these, here they are. And more of people to kind of figure it out on their own, of like, okay, well, this is what the rest of chat is doing, you know, chat is kind of like going in this direction. um he's either going along with it, or he's telling people to chill a little bit, because like you got to give people some credit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know not everyone not everyone is going to pick up on things, but like a good majority of people are going to be able to figure things out. People are smart enough.
Yeah. Yeah, people are gonna figure it out. I've people have gotten my hints. One time, a few years back, this one guy came in through a raid. All right. And like he immediately, as soon as he got the as soon as he was part of that raid, he got into my chat and whatnot. He said a lot of just inappropriate things. And so
Oh my God.
I just went ew, 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 and it was he goes, oh, okay, and he got the cue, and he's just stopped talking about it after that. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I mean it's really hard out here for us trying
it's like,
to, define boundaries that
yeah,
are very gray.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. So like, what's your biggest fear in streaming?
I haven't experienced this yet, thankfully, and knocking on all the wooden surfaces in my immediate area.
Yeah.
But I hate raid.
You hate raids or
I no, I hate raid. So if you've never heard of one, I hate raid is where people
oh
will
oh oh
purposely
I
come
hate
into your
raid.
stream. Yeah, like they'll either like be really mean to you or your community, or make poor comments about like your game or your gameplay, and it's just not generally it's just generally not nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm fearful of that, right? Because I don't really have a ton of mods. Like I
Right.
said, I have one singular mod. Um and he's only a mod because he asked me.
If
um
that happens though, if that ever does happen, put your chat to subscriber only chat, and then you can
yes,
get rid
if
of them.
you go
Yeah.
into the dashboard, because I don't have the dashboard open, like it's in the background of everything that I'm doing.
Oh,
I would have to tab into it, but you can turn on shield mode. You can turn it on to subscriber only. You can SiriBot has you know a hate raid command.
hmm, that
You
I
can
didn't
turn it
know.
on to emo only.
Hmm.
There's ways around it, but it would be just very um disruptive.
Yeah. I
And
it would
if
be.
we want to talk about mood killers, that would probably throw me off pretty significantly. It would take me a moment to come back from that one.
Yeah. I bet so. That would really disrupt anybody's flow, I think.
Hmm.
Um I I have one of my browsers set to my Twitch dashboard as the home page. Or the startup page. So when I start up my browser, it's just right there. So that's what I've been doing just in case it ever does happen. I've never experienced it myself. Um either, but it's definitely it's something that has been real. I don't know how much it happens these days, but I've heard back like in 2020 and a little bit after that, it was a pretty common thing, from to my knowledge. um but yeah, I'm always prepared for that, so just in case. But yeah,
I would
like,
say I'm aware of it.
yeah.
I would not be prepared. I don't think anyone would actually be prepared
Yeah. Well, it
if
might
it were
catch
to
me
really
off
happen.
guard for a second, yeah. But that's definitely that would make me go, whoa. Now I have had a viewer bot raid once before where like 40 bots raided my channel, and I was like, that's weird. What's going on here? Didn't know about it at the time, never even heard of like a bot view was a bot follow raid or something like that. Um yeah, or view botting. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then one of my members goes, yeah, you might want to turn off your notifications. I'm like, well, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? So, yeah, got with Twitch support after that stream, and then they go, yeah, there's no tools we have for this. And I'm thinking, oh, but then I found out there's an actual bot that takes care of that for you. It's a risky bot, but it's a bot. I forget what it's called now, but I'm thinking, man, we have. I don't want to sound arrogant towards Twitch, but at the same time, we have, a tool that they don't. Kind of, they might have already developed something by now. Yeah.
But that's why all these third-party things exist, right?
That's true. Yeah, it's very, very true. Though for me, I will say for me, what's up, Alan? My biggest fear for a little while now that it's been being hacked by somebody, possibly getting somebody putting porn up on my channel or something like that. Obviously, not good. But what
I didn't even consider anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, 2FA. So I kind of decided, actually, that's really not my biggest fear. I've actually been pondering this for a little bit. Forgot it even existed. But my biggest fear was like, okay, what if something happened to me? Let's say something happened IRL and I just stopped streaming and stopped posting to Twitter or Discord or whatever. Like, I just completely stopped responding. And nobody ever knew whatever happened to me. I was thinking that used to haunt me. It doesn't haunt me anymore. But that's actually been my biggest fear, because then nobody would know. Like, hey, like Devin might have, I'm not gonna jinx it, so I'm not gonna give out any examples. But you can probably think, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
It is.
Yeah. What was your most awkward moment in streaming?
I don't know. I would say like saying the wrong thing, or like reading a message and messing up the wording, or not understanding something. But that happens so frequently. That happens so frequently that it's kind of no longer awkward.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, because then you know what to do.
You just pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah. Right. I have a pretty awkward story. Okay. So going back to the whole, defining the NSFW boundaries, there's this one lady who came in to my stream a few times, and for like the first few times, she seemed normal. Nothing wrong. But I've also known this person outside of my stream, not like known her, but she was from another Twitch community. And every time she would type chat me, she sounded drunk, like very, very drunk. And you couldn't understand her sometimes, even if somebody said, hey, I'll pay you like to try to interpret this message, like you couldn't understand her. One time she, outside of stream, right, she messaged me on Discord. She's, hey, you wanna go out? You wanna do that? You wanna hang out at a bar or something? And I'm thinking, okay, well, I told, and in the nicest way possible, I told her like, hey, I admire that she had the guts to ask me out, right? I'm gonna be really honest though, I'm really not looking and stuff, and and I just explained it the best way I could. She was cool with that. So she starts coming in to my streams. Like I said, she was normal. And then that one day where you could tell there was something she drank. She asked, hey, can I ask you a personal question? I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I thought it was just gonna be.
I hate that question.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question? Absolutely, you cannot. What do you mean?
Yeah, and I was thinking in my head, okay, well, maybe it has something to do with I don't know, like my family members or somebody I know IRL, something like that. I was like, okay, sure. And I kid you not, she asked me, "Are you a sexual person?" And I went, "Whoa, whoa, hold up." Now I knew you were gonna be.
That is not a personal question. That is
That is that isn't a question that you ask your spouse. And
a personal question is like, hey, what's your dog's name?
yeah, yeah. Or what's your cat's name? Or what's your
Oh my god.
bird's name? Or whatever, you know. Or how'd you get that painting in the background or something like that? Did you make that painting?
Yeah.
Not like
Oh
that.
my gosh.
I banned her. I messaged her on Discord. I said, I have a bone to pick with you. And I picked that bone with her. And I said, I don't ever want to see that message again because you know that is a question you ask your spouse. I'm not your spouse. So, yeah. No.
Oh, you saying you banned her and messaged her
On Discord.
yeah, it
Yeah.
reminded me of I have a new awkwardest
Okay.
scenario that happened to me
Okay.
underage viewers.
Okay.
So this happened like more towards the beginning. I didn't even have this model yet. But I had this kid come into my stream multiple times, and we don't talk about age because if I find that you're not 18, I'm sorry, you have to go.
Yeah.
So it was never talked about, right? We don't really talk about our age in there.
Okay.
Because I also don't want it to feel isolating for someone who is 18 and someone who is I don't know, like 45, right? There's a huge disparity right there.
Yeah.
So I still want people to feel like included in everything.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why I don't really talk about age in
That's
stream.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I was actually about to ask you, well, what would you do if you
it's
just
less
less
about, oh no, what if someone's underage, and it's more about, okay, I want people to feel included, whether they're 18 or 95.
Yeah, or 95. I was gonna ask, like, what would you do if somebody said they were 50 or something like that? But yeah, I feel like that's
that
a
would
little,
be fine,
yeah,
right? You want to come into the stream, you're 50, that's cool.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that you want to be here. But this kid, he was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about streaming. Would you come over to my stream if I streamed? I really like your streams. I really like you to be there." And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Of course. You're coming into my streams. You're interacting. You're a nice guy. I'll come over and support your stream." Well, he did. It was a live stream from his phone.
Oh, okay.
And he was just like walking around his neighborhood or something. Okay. And he turned the phone camera to talk to it to stream, and I was like, "Oh man, you're a child."
And then that's when the truth came out.
So I had to message him and be like, "Yo, dude, you're really nice, and I really appreciate you coming to my streams, but when you did your live stream, you were clearly under 18, and you are more than welcome to come back when you are 18 if I am still up and running. But for now, I'm sorry. So I'll see you around." And then I had to block him. I didn't even wait for a response. I just sent that message and blocked him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, got to be the police.
It's sometimes like this is the thing I'm saying. You got to be the bad guy sometimes.
Yep. Okay, so let's start talking. Let's get back to the lighter questions here. So what was your
let's move out of the shadows and the dark side for a little bit.
What was your best compliment that you've ever received on stream?
My best compliment?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love when people tell me that they like my voice.
Nice.
That is like my favorite thing that people can tell me.
Nice.
Like, I like when people say, you know, I like your model, or you have a nice personality, or, you know, you play games really well, or your streams are really calming for me. But number one compliment is, I really like your voice.
Okay. That's really cool. Yeah, I like it when people say that too. Um, the two people who have asked me, they're like, "I'm sorry, I know this is a weird compliment, but I like your voice." I'm like, "That's not weird. I'm in a call center business, dude." so, so, yeah, that's just normal. That's life. Um, yeah, no, it's funny when people like. Well, I wouldn't say it's funny, but it's great when people give you those compliments because you having
Mhm.
a podcast voice that adds to the stream. That's part of the stream.
As long
So
as they don't tell you that you have a podcast face, that would be an insult.
okay, I've never thought about that.
You've never heard someone say like, "Oh wow, you have a great radio face."
No.
Oh my god, it means that you have a nice voice, but you don't look good
Oh, really?
because you're on the radio, and you know you have a great face for a radio. No one's gonna see your face.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty bad, actually. Okay, I see.
I
I see where you're coming
know.
from. Okay. Okay. Yeah, all right. Well, how's your perspective of Twitch changed like over the years, over the 2 years that you've been streaming?
I mean, Twitch as a platform
Yeah, as a platform.
hasn't really. You know, I feel like it's more or less the same. They have introduced some um, policy changes
Yeah.
that affect a lot of other people, but none of them have really affected me.
Yeah. I gotcha.
So I know some of them have been like questionable with like, I think the most prominent one that I can think of is probably the one where they were like, oh, you know, you can't have a whole lot of skin showing, and
Oh yeah.
even on like VTubers, and that affected a lot of people, but it didn't really affect me.
Yeah.
I was able to continue doing what I was doing uninterrupted. I didn't have to change anything.
Yep. Yeah, I got kind of wild. um yeah. So I'm gonna flip this thing over. So when you're the viewer and you're watching other streamers, okay?
Hmm.
Obviously we know nobody likes toxicity. So you know that's a given. But what's the one thing that you really dislike what's the one thing you like the most about streamers, and then after that, what is your least favorite thing about when you see a streamer, if that makes any sense? I don't know if I
Are
worded
we
that right.
talking about? No, I think I understand. But are we talking about like their community, their chat, how they're running their channel, or are we talking about them?
Really both. Like their chat. It could be their character. It could be their like maybe their stream aesthetics or their audio.
Okay, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Um, I think when I am watching other people. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Here's a really good one.
Okay.
Um, when I'm watching other people, um, in their communities, I really dislike when I feel that I am in the chat and only interacting with the streamer themselves.
Okay.
Right? It feels very isolating, uninviting, and I really like when I come into a chat and their chat, like not just a streamer, but their chat also interacts with me. Like I come into people's chats and people say, "Hey, Juice, Lizard, how are you doing? Oh my God, it's good to see you." And they're commenting on things. I can comment back on them, and they'll respond to me. And it feels much more inclusive, and it feels much like like you belong there a little bit
Yeah.
more, rather than like if you are commenting on the streamer's gameplay or asking them questions, but no one is really conversating with you outside of the streamer answering questions that you're putting into the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping my chat will. I don't want to sound like I'm talking bad about my chat, but and sometimes they do interact with each other. Kind of
I
hoping
love
that
to
keep.
see that. I
Yeah.
love to see when other people in my chat are interacting with each other.
Yeah. That's what I like to see too. I like to see that. I feel like it hasn't happened in a while, but I think at some point they'll.
Yeah, and that's part of that community piece
Yeah.
too, right? It's great that you want to come in and see me, um, but I think it's also just as great that you want to come in and you want to see everyone that's here too, not just me.
Yeah. I'm not always the most consistent with it, but yeah, I try to like respond to other people's messages and stuff. So I don't really
I
like
will
to.
say it is an art. It is there's a big curve to being able to keep up on chat, responding, and playing games.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um I do like it when streamers have, well, both good audio and graphics. My least favorite thing though is when people blame the game for their mistakes. You know what I'm talking about? Like when
Oh,
somebody,
uh-huh.
yeah, and then you go, game, game. I'm like, listen, if I don't know you for like more than 3 months, I'm gonna unfollow you for that, because you kind of remind me of that one time when my whole family was having a road trip, and my 4 year old sister at the time was playing. It was kind of like a tablet back in the day, but it was a kid's tablet, as we would call it these days.
Mhm.
She was playing a game. It was some kind of like, I think it was like I think it was a frog game. And she couldn't win the game, so she kept getting all frustrated, and she kept saying, "Oh, the game doesn't want me to win." Oh, and then nowadays you see these streamers sometimes say that, they're like, "The game doesn't want me to win." I'm going, "Oh my gosh, mature up, man up, dude! Like, what is wrong with you?"
I mean, okay, I will say that, I am guilty of
Okay,
saying like, "Oh, come on, I was clicking the button. Why didn't it work? It wouldn't let me jump." Um,
but
but I feel like what you're describing is where people
people don't own up to
cross
their
over
mistakes.
into that, but like I feel like it if it escalates any higher, it's going to turn into like punching a wall or throwing your
Yeah.
controller across the room and having it smash into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, I mean, the streamers I saw weren't that bad, but man, they got kind of, oh my gosh, it got pretty bad. I remember this guy with a bird PNG tuber was playing Descent 2. If I don't know if you remember that game or not, but you're in a spaceship.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
own it. I've never installed it. I've never played it.
Oh. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's a you're in a ship, right? And it's a pretty tough game. You're in this. It's hard to describe. Like, you got to see it to really understand. But you're in a bottle ship, but you're inside of a tiny ship. You're piloting a small ship inside of a gigantic bottle ship. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and you have to like destroy things, enemies, and then you have to escape before you get blown up. So yeah, the gist of that game. But yeah, this dude was. I knew this guy for like maybe 2 months, and then he started screaming. I'm like, uh oh, here comes the kid, the toddler. So, yeah. Um, well, so we've been talking about the streaming questions. Now, why don't we go ahead and the rest of the 30 minutes here, we're just gonna go ahead and talk about gaming now. So I know you're a variety streamer. All right. What's the most difficult game that you've played so far?
The most difficult game that I've played,
Yeah.
Celeste.
Oh yeah, Celeste. I remember I was in a
No,
hangout.
I know everyone loves that game for whatever reason. I cannot. I don't like it. It's too hard.
It looks so difficult to me. I don't think I'd ever want. I don't want to even try that game, to be honest. I was in a Spanish stream because I like to practice my fancy Spanish, and I kept seeing this guy just over and over and over again. He was trying to jump through, over all these spikes, and he would jump like on this platform, and then there'd be this tricky area that he had to go to, and just one hit would kill you. It's not like he had this health meter that would slowly go down. I like the health meter mechanics. I don't like the one hit KO and then you're done for mechanic. I could never get into that. I couldn't even get into the Sonic games because as soon as you get like, it doesn't even matter how many rings you would have. Like as soon as you get hit, you lost all the rings. And I'm like,
yep.
Why do I have to recollect all this again? Like this is, I can't do it. But they can't change that because they'll absolutely disappoint the Sonic fans, So yeah, I mean that game sounds it looks very, very difficult. Yeah, I couldn't do it, but I know it's got its audience, and like you said, a lot of
It's got
people.
a big fan base.
Yeah, it's got a big fan base. I'm wondering they're probably gonna come out with a sequel if I had to guess. They haven't announced one yet, maybe.
I don't even know when it came out.
Good question. I'm kind of curious. I'll probably just look it up later, but what was your favorite game to stream?
My favorite game to stream. I don't know. I don't know if I would say my favorite game to stream is different than my favorite overall game.
Okay. I saw you were streaming Fist Forged in Darkness, I think is what it's called. That
was a great game.
Yeah. It was very, I mean, it had that heavy industrial sort of inspiration and looks really cool. I like seeing Metroidvania games. I played Metroid, but not a lot of Metroidvania games. It's weird.
I love Metroidvania games. Sorry, I was looking at a text message and I was trying to respond to it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite game that I've streamed has been. Because is it different than my favorite game? I don't even know if I could pinpoint a favorite game.
Yeah, guess it depends on the person.
I will say, Ori, that series, Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori, Will o' the Wisp.
Ori, yeah.
That's probably like top games.
Okay.
Those are one of my favorites. I've come back to those multiple times, and I'm not a game replayer. Even if I like a game, I very rarely very rarely revisit them.
Yeah.
Hmm. But I don't know, maybe Nine Souls. That was a really fun game. It was very difficult, but it was really fun.
I don't think I've heard Nine Souls. Is that a 2D game or is that?
It is, yes. It's a 2D Metroidvania.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's kind of cool. Um, Interesting. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds really cool. Nine Souls. What's it about? Is it like it's not like Dark Souls, I bet.
No. It's a Metroidvania, so it's closer to Hollow Knight is what most people came in saying.
Okay.
When I was playing it, they're like, "Oh, you're playing a Hollow Knight ripoff." No, I mean same genre, but not close to Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. What's the most underrated game that you've played, and what made you enjoy playing that game?
Underrated?
Yeah.
Give me a moment because I need to look at the games that I've completed.
Yeah.
Let's see, where's my little about page? Here we go. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So I've got two for you.
Okay.
Actually, just kidding. I got three. Oh, there's so many good ones. Okay.
So many good ones.
Most underrated. I'm just gonna pick one. I would say South of Midnight. It's not a Metroidvania, so it's very left field for me.
Okay.
It is a. I don't know how they classified it. Adventure game, action adventure game. But the soundtrack was a pretty short game. It was probably like maybe 8 hours, 12
That's pretty
hours.
short. Yeah.
Yeah. But the soundtrack, phenomenal. The animation that they use stop motion animation. Beautiful. The story that they did for the game, amazing.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played South of Midnight, please go check it out because it is such a good time to play.
Yeah, I should totally check that game out. Also, I was laughing because Coolio came in and he's like, "You got the lizard! You got the lizard, man!"
Hey.
Yeah, dude. Well, welcome back, Coolin. How are you, man? I know. I told you I was getting a dragon on a podcast this time. Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I'm glad you're doing good. Yeah, let us know how your week was, and cool. And what was I lost what I even just asked here. What is the most underrated game you've played? Absolute Cinema, yeah. You gotta play that sound. We have a sound effect for that. Here it is.
Absolute Cinema.
Absolute Cinema, yeah. Yeah, no, what
Now,
was
do you have an underrated game? Because I'm always looking for new things to play.
Dude, my most
even though my backlog is astronomically large, I'm still always looking for new things to play.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, my most underrated it was Metroid Prime Remastered, mostly because like nobody likes. I mean, I won't say nobody likes. That's completely false, but it's a very great game actually. But the thing about it is like it doesn't make the sales that it should. which is what makes it underrated, and it's really it's so cool. But if there's another underrated game that I've played before, let me see. It's not War Thunder, and it's not yeah, it's definitely not War Thunder. I would have to say it's probably Ape Out. I don't see anybody playing Ape Out. Have you ever have you ever played Ape Out before?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Now I'm going by memory, but when I looked it up on Twitch, like almost nobody was streaming it. But the game it's kind of like, I'm not gonna say it's like Donkey Kong. It's really nothing like Donkey Kong, but you're playing as a gorilla, which for some reason still reminds me of Donkey Kong. And it's a really artistic game because like you got this maximalism, and it's all the texture grains are like animated, and it's really cool. It's a very 2D Art Deco style of game, and you're looking it has a top-down view of all the characters, but they're all 3D models too. They're just texture mapped. Yeah, they're just texture mapped to look 2D. And so the whole point of the game is you start off in a cage because I guess the zoo, and then you have to you break out of the cage, and then you have to make your way out of the zoo or the facility or wherever the heck you end up in. And so you got two options for offense. You can push like I don't want to call them the gatekeepers, like I'm gonna just say the soldiers, because they have rifles and everything. You can push them, and when they hit the wall, like all their body parts just go, but it's not super gory because again, the graphics, at least not to me. What else? Or you can go ahead and grab someone, and that's really more of a defensive option, because if somebody shoots that person that you grabbed that you're holding hostage, they die instead of you getting hit, and you got like 3 hits, I think. And so once you make it out, you go up to the next level. You just it kind of rinses and repeats. Super good game. The last level was like extremely hard. So yeah, it was a great game. It was super challenging. I recommend it. Yeah, that was pretty underrated. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. What was the first game you played? Like ever in your entire life?
Ever?
Ever.
Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3. Oh yeah, we're definitely going back. Yeah, it was a pretty good game. Oh, I didn't play it, but I played. What was the earliest Mario game I've ever played? I think it was Mario. I think it was Super Mario 64. But I think I also did try Super Mario. I don't remember if it was 1, 2, or 3. But that was like for a little bit. I never got into that though. But the very first game that I played was Mega Man. Have you ever know anything about the Mega Man series?
Yep, I know Mega Man.
Yeah. That's a good game too. I don't know if I'd call it Metroidvania, but it almost feels like. No, that's too linear. Never mind. It's too linear to be a Metroidvania game. But I remember playing Mega Man Legends. They only had like 2 Mega Man Legends games. That was it. They were gonna make a third one, but it got canceled for some weird reason. I don't know. That was a good game. Very first one I played, and it was fun. It was great. Which Mega Man games have you played?
I have not played any Mega Man
Oh, you
games.
haven't played
Can you
any of them?
believe it?
Oh, okay.
I have not played any Mega Man games. Although I do like platformers, so I probably would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I know this probably going to be a sin, because as much as I love Metroidvania games, I have not played either of the games that inspired the genre. I haven't played any Metroid games, and I haven't played any Castlevania games. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little wild, but that could change. Yeah. That could change.
Mhm.
Someday, right? But yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, it's fun though. I know there's always this a pull between two different fan bases. One fan base loves Samus, the main character, being in an isolated environment because reasons, and then the other audience is like, we're really casual and we kind of want an kind of more of a Halo approach. And we've never played a Metroid game before, and it's like, okay, great. If you guys want my 2 cents, I don't freaking care. Okay, I think Samus can work well in between with herself and other people. I just want to play the game. Okay, that's it.
Hmm.
And it's a fun freaking game. I love it. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. One of the last questions I'm going to ask is have you ever been on an esports team before? And if you have, what is your perspective of the esports world?
I have not. I
Okay.
have not been on an esports team.
Okay. I gotcha. Um
I'm not good enough to be on an esports team.
it's okay. Yeah, it's
Also, a
okay.
lot of esports tend to focus around first person shooters,
Oh, that's
or
true.
like, I forget what style game it is, but like the Overwatch type games, or the Marvel Rivals type games.
Yeah.
I don't have an interest in those two. I play shooters, but not the greatest at them, and I really only play them in a more of a social,
Mhm.
for like social reasons. So
Yeah.
like my friend and I will play Fortnite, right? It's a shooter, but I don't really care for the gameplay as much as I do it's something that we can play together.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to like shooter games other than Metroid, right? Like I've always loved Metroid, but um Halo was a good game. I still like I mean their newer games aren't super great, but the classic Halo games were definitely good. Call of Duty I used to like, but despite like Smash Brothers Brawl not being related to the game at all, like ever since I started playing Smash Brothers Brawl, I was like, I don't like Call of Duty anymore. And it was kind of weird. But like I could not get back into Call of Duty after I got into Smash Brawl.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So you grew up.
I grew up. I went to the next level. I was like, hey, let's level up. Yeah. Um yeah, dude. That was they were fun times. I remember playing games at one of the first houses that I ever lived in. And I remember when internet was not that fast. And so sometimes my father would have to work from home way before working from home was actually a thing. And so he would occasionally like have to upload videos to his job back in the day. And every time he did, when I was in the middle of playing Call of Duty or especially Smash Brothers, oh my gosh, like that lag got insane. It was it was really bad lag. I'm kind of glad we're out of those days. I'm glad that the internet has gotten a lot faster.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I think that is the podcast. In fact, I know that's the podcast. So we're gonna go ahead and raid somebody. Now before we go ahead and end this this podcast here, how would you rate this podcast on a scale from 1 to 10?
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Cool. And who would you
Absolutely.
which guest would you recommend for the next podcast?
Oh man. I'm trying to think. I know so many cool people. Oh, okay. I've got some. This is a couple streamer. They stream independently, but they are partnered.
Okay.
You know, live together, partnered, the whole thing.
Okay.
One is Victorian Wolfo.
Victorian Wolfo.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let me check them out. Let's see. Here we go. Victorian Wolfo. Oh yeah. Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And then his partner is Nihilus the Wolf. Is Nihilus.
Oh, that has a ring to it. Nihilus the Wolf. Oh, I like that.
Yes. Nihilus just became one of my siblings, so he's got the same model parent as me. Chicero did his model as well, and Victorian Wolfo, who goes by Vic, is looking into getting one as well.
Oh, wait, you got a link to Nihilus the Wolf? I want to check them out. Because
Sure.
I think I see there's somebody playing NHL, but they're not into sports, are they? I mean, not that that's a problem.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this one looks. Yeah, this is. Yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, they are. They're German.
Oh, okay. They're German. Okay.
Yes, they are very nice.
Maybe I don't know how to spell nihilist. There's a metal.
I sent it in your Discord or in our DM.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I see now. Nihilus. Okay.
Nihilus.
I was gonna say, there's a metal song that's called Nihilus Blue. I don't know if you've heard of the Veer Union, but it's a really good metal song. I don't know if you're into metal, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Cool. Well,
I used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Didn't I show you a oh, come on, man. A metal song once before? I think I have. I don't know. Maybe that was somebody else, but
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could have been me.
Yeah.
I have a pretty wide range of music.
Yeah.
Genres that I still listen to, genres that I have listened to.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, I am very I feel like my music taste kind of goes in waves. So I'll be like really into a certain genre for a wave, and then it'll start to go down as I pick up speed with a different genre.
Yeah.
So right now I'm back into Midwest emo.
Yeah. I gotcha. Okay. Well, let's go ahead. We'll raid Science Fight, Shark, and y'all. Thank you so much for being on the stream, and thank you so much, Lizard Juice, for being on the stream. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was a great time.
Absolutely, it was fun. And we will be back. I can't be back this Saturday because I'm actually taking an exam on Saturday. But I will be back on probably Monday. I think it's the third Monday. Yeah, we'll be back on
your
Monday.
Exam.
Yeah, thank you. All right. See y'all later. Y'all have an amazing day.
All right, bye-bye.